Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tracy Wilson here. Hey, thanks you very much. I know that right now I'm streaming inside of the She Myth launch group. And for all of you guys that are watching right now, I want to say a huge big thank you to you because you've decided that you are joining our launch supporters team, and we need as many of you guys to join our launch supporters team as possible. If you're watching this live right now on my Tracy M. Wilson site and you are not currently inside of the supporters group, let me tell you a little bit about it. So we've got a whole lot of amazing men and women that are inside of the She Myth book launch team, or they're part of the supporters team. So Vicky Helm and I have spent the last year or so writing a book called The She Myth, and we are in launch mode right now, and it's going to be going live for people to purchase this week. So I wanted to jump into the group this morning. Firstly, say thank you very much, because I know that it takes a lot of you guys' time and effort to even just be part of this group, and I'm really super appreciative of it. It's been a whole, 12 months in the making, and finally we are at the point where we are now able to launch it. And I'm going to say that now is a perfect time because it's a new year. Most likely, most of you are out there thinking, what is this new year 2021 going to bring and going to hold? And how do we make sure that we kind of harness 2021 and we start to stand up, stand out, and stand firm in what we believe in, so that we can actually start to make a difference. So there was a number of reasons that I actually wanted to jump in live today. The first is to acknowledge you all and say thank you very much. The second is I want to give you a bit more information about the launch and how this process is going to go. So we promise that whilst you guys are inside of the group, that would also give you a backstage pass to actually see what happens and how this kind of all unfolds. Now, over the next 7 days, you're going to see me inside of the group sharing what it is that we're doing, how we're going to go, how we're going about doing this launch, what are the tasks and activities that we are going to hopefully get you guys to do as our supporters. So in the hope that, one, you will actually help us to launch the She Myth book and be actually part of that entire process. But secondly, to also make sure that we can start making a real difference to a woman's lives, and men's for that matter, women's lives all over the world. So this is not just a book for women, it is actually also a book for men, even though the title of the book is The She Myth. And I'm going to get to why we titled the book The She Myth very, very shortly, because we actually had a question from one of our supporters inside of the group. Aroha Ripley asked us, why did we choose the title The She Myth? So before I get off this live today, I'm going to make sure that I actually share that with you and share with you why we came up with that name and why we came up with the tagline, defining women in business. So I will get to that. So here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, we're going to have Linda Sterling, who is our publisher from a publishing company called The Publishing Circle. Linda is going to be live with me inside of the group tomorrow, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. So Brisbane time, if you do a bit of a calculation, you'll determine where that is actually going to be in your neck of the woods. So for now, it is like 11:27 a.m. here in Brisbane. So whatever time that is for you, if you take an hour and a half off of that, that will be the time tomorrow that I'll be live inside of the group with Linda Sterling. Now you can do, you're going to have an opportunity, obviously, to see the backstage of what we actually do with her, but also you'll have an opportunity to ask a very well-known and very skilled publisher any questions. So if you're thinking about publishing your own book now or into the future, that would be a great opportunity for you to use to ask Linda any questions, and we'll make sure that either myself or Vicky or Linda actually answers those. So that's tomorrow. This is a time you need to remember, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Brisbane time. And like I said, it's 11, just after almost 11:30 now. So whatever the time it is in your neck of the woods, take an hour and a half off of that, and that will be the time tomorrow. Linda Sterling is her name, and she's from a company called The Publishing Circle. She'll be live with me inside of the group. The second question that I've been getting asked a lot, and thank you for those of you that have been messaging me privately, hey Trace, where do I go to buy the book? Right now, there is nowhere that you can buy the book just at this moment in time. So tomorrow, in fact, actually Wednesday morning, I will be live inside of the group my Wednesday, which for those of you that are in America or in the UK, it'll be your Tuesday. But 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning, my time, I will be inside of the group and I'll be sharing with you a link where you can go and purchase the book. And we'll talk you through why we're doing it this particular way. And again, so that you can see the backstage view, why we're doing particular things, so that you can also take them into consideration for yourself if and when it comes time for you to launch your own book. So we want to do this from a two-pronged point of view. One is to obviously launch the She-Myth book, but secondly, to help you if you are thinking about publishing your own book in the future. So the time that I will be sharing that link will be 8 a.m. Brisbane time, which will be 11 a.m. if you're in New Zealand. It'll be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so New York time in America. And if you're on the other side of the coast, it will be 2 p.m. Los Angeles time. So just be aware that that's the time that I will actually be inside of the group, and I will share the link and the instructions as to where you can get the book. Now, because you are if you are a member of the supporters group, you are going to get a link that is going to give you access to be able to purchase the ebook copy of the book early at a price of 99 cents. We will then put the price up. So you're going to have a short window of opportunity, a day or two, to be able to go and purchase the book at 99 cents. Then the price will go up. Then we will also communicate with you when the physical, the actual hard copy and soft copy of the paperback copy of the book will be available for your purchase too. But in this first round, when we're doing a book launch, you always want to get sales in the ebook version first. So that is what we're doing. So the process that we're sharing with you is exactly the same process that we would encourage you to follow if you were creating and launching your own book. So couple of dates just to recap. Tomorrow, Publishing Circle, Linda Sterling is going to be on. She's the publisher of our book tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And I can see that Karen Saxepley is putting in the times in the comment section inside of this thread so that you guys don't forget. And then secondly, I'll be back again on Wednesday, my Wednesday morning, Brisbane, which will be at 10 a.m. to share with you where you can go to purchase the book and to give you some very, very simple instructions about how you can go about purchasing it for 99 cents. In this first part of the launch, what Vicky and I need to try and do is get as many supporters as we possibly can that would be interested in purchasing the book and going to go and purchase it at that price of 99 cents. What that's going to do is it's going to help us get to the best-selling author status in multiple different categories. And tomorrow, Linda Sterling will go into more detail about how this all works when I have her online with me. So I'm just giving you guys a bit of a heads up today as to this is how this entire process goes. So just so you know, the book is actually not for sale just yet. We've got a couple of days before it actually will be available, and we will make sure that we get you the link and we give you some very clear instructions as to how you can go and purchase it at the Team Supporters Club price. And like I said, then the price is going to be going, the price will be going to go up after probably about 48 hours. So you have a very short window of opportunity to get in there and purchase. Okay, now I'm going to answer the question. So for those of you that are wondering, you haven't really told us too much about what this book is actually about. Let me tell you a little bit about what it is about and what it's not about. And I'm going to answer the question that Aroha Ripley actually put inside of the group, which was, why did you choose the title, The She-Myth? So when Vicky and I actually was on one of Vicky's shows at the beginning of 2020, and her show is called The Coffee Break Show, and we were talking about women in business and how you can become a successful woman in business. And throughout that show, she was asking me lots and lots of questions about my history, my background, my working life, etc., etc. And we continued that conversation after I was on her show. So I'm giving you guys like the full, this is exactly how this all kind of unfolded and came to be. So after that show, her and I continued to stay connected really quickly, pretty much straight after the show. We stayed on the line and we had a further conversation. And that conversation took us down a path of, man, we should really put a lot of this stuff into a book. And as we started doing that, and she's a renowned writer in her own right. As you now know, she's written something like 38 different books. So she's all over how to write a best-selling book and how to put all of the content together. For me, this is my very first time. So I've always had sort of the content in the back of my mind, but coupled with her expertise and her knowledge, the pair of us kind of set to work thinking about, what would be a great book that could actually help women in business? How could we help them be seen and be heard and to be able to make a change? So that came that came about from that being on the show, then starting a further conversation, and from that we started to unfold the guts and the content of the actual book. Now, the she myth. So as we started to write the content of the book, we wanted to make sure that the book addressed a number of things. One was like, what's actually going on in the world right now? Where are we as women kind of on the business spectrum? And when we started to dig deeper, I mean, we both knew this intuitively, but when we started to do some research, we started to see that, boy, oh boy, no matter how hard over centuries and decades that we as women have tried to make changes, we still have only been able to see the needle move about 2%. So when you start to read the book, you'll see that we speak about some statistical data. We give you some background into what's actually happening to women in the world of business and what changes we actually need to make. And these changes start at grassroots. So the reason that we're doing this is not just write a book, it's actually to start a movement and to start seeing women be seen and be heard and being able to stand up for what they actually believe in and start taking a primary role or a primary seat at the business table, because it hasn't been the case. In most cases, women have been in secondary roles or have been placed into secondary positions. And this has happened over centuries and centuries through a lot of, I suppose, ideologies that have been ingrained into us as young girls and then growing up to be, young women and then women. So, and these have carried through with us right into our adulthood. So the whole she myth concept has come about from that. So when we started to do the research and we thought about what's actually happened with us in our lives, we started to see that there were some patterns. There are patterns that happen with females all over the world. And it starts when we're just little toddlers, little girls. Girls are supposed to do specific things and not other things. Like girls should play with dolls, not play with cars. Girls should be nurses, not the doctor. So all of these sorts of things that have been ingrained in women over many, many, many years. And a lot of the time, we've coined these as myths. They are, and that's exactly all they are, is they have just become what we call a she myth. And it's time that we stopped believing these she myths to be true, because when you hear them over and over and over again, you become accustomed to hearing them and you start to believe them to be so. So the book is first and foremost about, these are the she myths. They're not true. You need, as women, we've got two choices. You can either take them on board and you can believe them, or you can say, screw that, I don't actually believe that, and that's not true at all, and you can start to pave a different path for yourselves. So the book kind of highlights some of those initially. It tells some of my story. It tells some stories of some other really amazing and inspirational women, and then it goes into a lot more detail about what can we do about that. And a lot of what we can do about it is first acknowledging these are the case, acknowledging that they're not actually true. And now let's take some real life skills, some real business skills, and start to learn and understand those, so that no matter where you are at, whether you're starting out in business, whether you've been in business for a long time, you can acknowledge that some of the stuff that's happened to you is actually not true and not, you don't have to dwell on that. You take and harness what it is that you're really about, take and harness some of the things that you can do as women in business, and use the practical advice and steps and strategies that Vicky provides to you inside of the She Myth book to actually pave the future and start stepping up, standing out, and standing firm on what it is that you believe in, so that we can start to inch by inch start moving that needle, so that women are starting to be seen more at the head of the table, more at, leaning in when it comes to anything around business, and being seen in the political scene, being seen in the business scene, etc., etc. But the skills that you will learn will not only hold you in good stead across the business sector, they also apply in your own life and in your family, etc., etc. So the book really kind of harnesses all of those things, and it gives you practical steps that you can actually do to ensure that 2021 and beyond, you can actually start being confident, standing up for yourself, standing firm on what it is that you believe in, knowing, using your discernment really wisely, knowing how to identify a good business opportunity when it's presented to you, or knowing how to create a good business opportunity, so that no matter what happens in the external environment to us, like with COVID, you're actually going to know what type of business you need to create for yourself. And again, I don't want to uncover everything that's in there and let the cat out of the bag, because you need to read the book. But when you do, it's going to give you those very practical steps. And like I said, something that's a little bit different with this book is inside of the book, there are links and there are QR codes. So it actually brings the book to life. And we're also giving you some practical tools and resources that you can use that will take the learnings that you have in the book and allow you to apply them in real life. So that's how the She Myth book came about. The name, we sort of threw around a few different names, but when we sort of delved a little bit deeper, it was like, oh, there's a common theme here. There's some stuff that we've been told over and over and over again. What are they? Well, they're lies, they're myths, they're the untruths, they're all of those things. And we landed on the She Myth. It's a cool, catchy name. It gives some intrigue, so people will want to read it. And then secondly, we threw around some different taglines. And you would have seen, if you've been following me for a little while, you would have even seen me post that and go out with a bit of a public poll asking people, what do you think is the best tagline that we should use for this book? Giving them a bit of detail and context about the book itself. And then we landed on redefining women in business, because that is exactly what this is all about. It's about redefining us, allowing us to take that primary role, allowing us to step up, be heard, be seen, and be taken really seriously at the business table. And thankfully, I'm starting to see a lot of this happening, a lot of females rising to the top of a lot of, the political space, the business space, but still, we're still the minority when it comes to, to being seen and being heard in those very top levels. So we want to make sure that we create this movement that allows more and more women to rise up. So that's what the book is all about. And thank you, Aroha Ripley, for asking the question. If any of you have got any other questions, then I would also encourage you to put them inside of the group. We'll make sure that we answer them. So it could be a question about the book. It could be a question about, I don't know, the color, why we chose that particular color even. Could be anything in relation to the book itself, or it could be a question about marketing and how you go about launching a book. So like I said, tomorrow we've got Linda Sterling on with us. She's going to be there, renowned publisher, great opportunity for you guys to ask questions there. And then we'll also give everybody some, an opportunity to share some stuff if you want to. So my I suppose ask now is that if you think that this is a book that needs to be read, we do, by millions and millions of women, this is the way in which we can start, making a movement, making the changes. If you believe this and you want to see a difference in our young girls not succumbing to she myths that are not true, then I would highly recommend that you just invite just one of your best girlfriends, just one who you think would want to make a difference, who would believe in this message too. Invite them to the group, invite them to get to know Vicky and I, and to understand what this is all about, and then to ask questions and to start being part of the movement. And let's see if we can get as many people as we can to read the book and obviously share it with their besties, so that we can start making a difference in girls' lives all over the world. So I will pause for a moment, because I do tend to speak really quickly, and probably with this crazy accent, some of you might find me a little bit hard to understand, but I'll try and slow myself down, just a little bit excited about what's going on. So if you've got any questions, please just make sure that you post them in the group, or you can post them in the comment section right now. So again, I just wanted to thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to both Vicky and I. I'm so pleased that we did this last year. I've got some stuff going on in, my personal world right now that's a little bit challenging, and I will share with you guys what that is over the next coming months. So just stand by, but your support means a hell of a lot to me, especially at this time, and I'm so glad that I took the time with Vicky's help to actually create this book last year, because I know it probably wouldn't happen given what's coming up in my personal world for this next 2021. But anyhow, nonetheless, we are here. I'm excited that we are here doing this book launch with you guys and sharing this journey with you. So thank you for now. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. my time with 10 a.m. my time with Linda Sterling with more information. And then I'll be here again on Wednesday morning my time at 8 a.m. And as per normal, have a fantastic week. For you, some of you guys, it's Sunday night, and if you're anything like my family, we have family Sunday every single Sunday. I have about 20 people here at my home for dinner every single Sunday night. So I'm hoping that you guys get to enjoy that sort of stuff with your family too. So I want to say bye for now and have a fantastic week. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.